Right now, sitting in an old jar, tucked away in a dusty drawer, could be a single dime worth nearly $1 million. And if you think that sounds unbelievable, you're not alone. But the truth is, a 1978 Roosevelt dime recently caught the world by surprise, and experts believe some could be worth even more, into the millions. Imagine holding your entire future between your fingertips, without even knowing it. After all, who would ever think a simple dime could change your life faster than a winning lottery ticket? But before you go digging through your change jar, there's something you absolutely need to know. In 1978, the Denver Mint produced tens of millions of Roosevelt dimes. Ordinary coins, made for ordinary life. But among them, a handful were not so ordinary. Some 1978 dimes possess rare, extraordinary traits that make collectors and investors pay insane prices today. And here's where it gets even more fascinating: these special dimes weren't supposed to exist. You see, certain 1978 Roosevelt dimes were struck with remarkable mint errors. Misaligned dies, double designs, ultra-sharp strikes, anomalies so rare that they transformed these tiny coins into treasures. Experts believe these rare examples were quietly released into circulation, and now, decades later, they are resurfacing. In other words, you might have a hidden jackpot disguised as pocket change, sitting somewhere in your house. Let's talk about what makes the 1978 Roosevelt dime so valuable. First, condition matters. Coins graded at MS-68 or higher, meaning virtually flawless under a microscope, are where the real magic happens. Then, there's the strike itself. A bold, crisp strike with a perfectly centered mint mark can drive collectors into bidding wars. And let's not forget errors. Dimes with off-center strikes, doubling on the date, or strange mint mark placements can multiply their value exponentially. But here's what most people don't know: many of these rare coins aren't locked away in museums or collector vaults. They're still out there. Still circulating. Still hiding. Today, a confirmed 1978 Roosevelt dime in top-tier condition is valued at an astonishing $960,000. And whispers within the coin community suggest that unique error examples could reach multi-million-dollar figures at auction. Think about that for a moment: a dime you can barely buy a stick of gum with today, could unlock a future you've always dreamed of. But time is running out. As collectors discover more of these rare dimes, the chances of finding one grow slimmer. Every day, someone else might be cashing in while your treasure remains hidden in plain sight. So what should you do? Start today. Go through your old coin jars. Check your change drawers. Inspect any Roosevelt dimes from 1978 with a Denver Mint mark, the small D on the front of the coin, just above the date. Look for sharp details, clean surfaces, and any unusual characteristics. And if you find a promising dime, do not spend it. Get it professionally graded. It could change your life. Don't let this be the opportunity you look back on with regret. Right now, you have the chance to turn what seems like nothing into everything. If you're serious about discovering life-changing coins hiding in plain sight, subscribe to this channel. Stay informed. Stay ready. And maybe, just maybe, the next incredible discovery will be yours. We're talking about a 1984 Roosevelt dime, a coin so rare, one was recently valued at over $956,000, and some experts believe certain examples could be worth millions, yes, millions, for a dime. But here's the catch: thousands of people are unknowingly letting it slip through their fingers every day. Could you be holding a small fortune and not even know it? Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for. In 1984, the Philadelphia Mint produced millions of Roosevelt dimes, small, silver-colored coins that few people gave a second thought, but among the ordinary, a few extraordinary coins were struck that a rare minting error, a mistake so small the human eye often misses it, turned an everyday coin into one of the most valuable dimes ever known. This isn't just another collector's story. This is life-changing money, and it's already out there. Right now, you see, the 1984 P. Roosevelt dime is infamous for a highly unusual and elusive variety. It's called the no-P dime. That's right. Some dimes from 1984 left the Philadelphia Mint without a mint mark. Normally, you would see a tiny P on the right side of Roosevelt's head, but on these rare coins, it's missing completely. A no letter. No mark. Nothing but the smooth face of the dime, and that tiny detail. It's the difference between a coin worth 10 cents and a coin that could put you in a luxury home, pay off all your debts, or fund your dreams for life. Now, you might be thinking, how can something so small be worth so much? Well, let me ask you this: if a painting with a smudge from Picasso can sell for millions, why not a dime with a mistake from the US Mint? Here's what most people don't realize: only a tiny batch of these no-P dimes made it into circulation before the mistake was caught. Experts estimate that just a few thousand exist, out of the hundreds of millions minted that year, and it gets even more exciting. Collectors and wealthy investors are willing to pay enormous sums for these coins, especially if they're in pristine, uncirculated condition. One high-grade example was valued at $956,000, and as the market for rare coins explodes, prices are climbing even higher. But here's the urgent truth: these coins are disappearing, collectors are scooping them up. Dealers are hoarding them, and every day, as dimes get melted down, lost, or worn beyond recognition, the number of surviving examples shrinks. That if you don't check your coins now, you might miss your chance forever. So, how do you know if you have one of these life-changing dimes, and what should you do if you find one? Let's break it down. First, pull out any dimes from 1984 you have at home. Focus especially on those without any visible mint mark near Roosevelt's neck. Use a magnifying glass if you have one, because even the faintest sign of a P disqualifies it. Second, check the condition. Collectors pay a premium for dimes that look almost untouched. Crisp details, no heavy scratches, and full, sharp rims. That if you believe you have a no-P dime, get it professionally authenticated. Organizations like PCGS or NGC specialize in verifying and grading rare coins. With authentication, your dime's value skyrockets, and you'll be able to sell it for its true market worth. Remember, coins like this don't just sit in museums, they sit in pockets, jars, junk drawers, until someone smart enough recognizes them. This is your moment. The opportunity is real, and it could be one coin away. Check your dimes, check them carefully. And if you want more secrets about rare coins that could make you rich, subscribe to the channel now and turn on notifications, because opportunities like this, they don't come twice. Some people spend their lives chasing fortune, others find it in the smallest places. Which one will you be? Stick with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly why this dime could change your life, and how you might already own one without even realizing it. You don't want to miss this. One oversight could cost you everything. First, let's take a step back. The Roosevelt dime, first minted in 1946, has long been a familiar face in American pockets. But not all dimes are created equal. In 1985, something peculiar happened at the Philadelphia Mint. A small number of dimes were struck with a subtle but powerful error. An error so rare, it's practically a ghost story among coin collectors. Normally, coins minted in Philadelphia carry the P mint mark. It's small, it's easy to miss, and back then, no one gave it much thought. But in a twist of fate, some 1985 Roosevelt dimes left the mint with either a misplaced mint mark, or anomalies so small that only the trained eye could catch them. Here's where it gets really interesting. Most Americans spent these dimes without a second glance. They dropped them into vending machines, handed them to cashiers, or lost them in old coat pockets. And today, those forgotten coins could be worth up to $950,000, according to experts. Some speculate that if the right dime in pristine condition were to appear, it could fetch over $1 million at auction. 3 factors. First, rarity. Very few of these error dimes were produced, and even fewer have survived in good condition. Second, demand. Coin collectors are desperate to get their hands on one. There simply aren't enough to go around. And third, condition. A coin that's been hidden away in a jar, untouched for decades, could be a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. But here's what most people don't know: the difference between a dime worth 10 cents and a dime worth $950,000 could be one tiny detail invisible to the naked eye. That's why so many people miss out, and why others are quietly cashing in. Now imagine this: finding one of these dimes in your house. You hold it up to the light, and there it is, the key to a completely different life. A new home. Financial freedom. Dreams within reach. This is not a fantasy. It is happening, right now, to people who simply knew what to look for. So here's what you need to do: start searching. Check your coin jars. Dig through old wallets, purses, and coin collections passed down from family members, and don't just glance at the dimes, inspect them carefully. Look for any unusual placement or style of the mint mark. If something looks strange, you could be looking at one of the rarest coins in modern American history. If you think you found something special, don't rush to a pawn shop. Instead, consult a reputable coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. Having your coin professionally authenticated and graded could be the difference between a few $100s and nearly $1 million. Remember, opportunity doesn't knock. It whispers. And only those who are prepared will hear it. Before you go diving into your collection, make sure you subscribe to this channel. We uncover hidden treasures, rare finds, and life-changing opportunities you won't hear about anywhere else. The Roosevelt dime first appeared in 1946, a tribute to President Franklin D. Roosevelt's leadership and legacy. Over the decades, billions were minted, but in 1987, something strange happened. At the Philadelphia Mint, where coins are marked with a small p, a mysterious batch of Roosevelt dimes entered circulation. These dimes weren't supposed to be anything special. They looked just like any other coin, at first glance. But beneath their ordinary surface, some of these 1987 p dimes were struck with astonishing errors that made them incredibly rare, and unbelievably valuable. Experts discovered that certain 1987 p dimes had rare misstrikes, including double dies, off-center minting, and microscopic flaws that slipped past the mint's quality control. Even more shocking, some dimes were struck on the wrong planchets, meaning they were stamped onto blank discs meant for other coins entirely. And here's the kicker: because so many people ignored them at the time, very few survived in pristine condition. Today, a perfectly preserved 1987 p Roosevelt dime can fetch an estimated $947,000 at auction, and some collectors believe the right error coin, under the right conditions, could even be valued in the millions. But finding one isn't just about luck, it's about knowing exactly what to look for. If you have a 1987 Roosevelt dime with the P mint mark, here's what you need to inspect: look for unusual shapes, off-center strikes, weird edges, or oddly thick borders. Check for double images, especially on the words "Liberty" or "In God We Trust." Weigh the coin. If it feels lighter or heavier than normal, it could be struck on the wrong material. And remember, the smallest detail could be the difference between a 10-cent piece and a life-changing payday. But how do you know if you're holding a jackpot? And what should you do if you find one? If you think you might have a valuable 1987 p Roosevelt dime, do not spend it, trade it, or even clean it. Instead, immediately get it professionally graded by a reputable coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. Grading can authenticate your dime and skyrocket its market value. Several lucky individuals who found rare dimes in their old collections have already walked away with life-changing payouts. Why not you? But time is not on your side. Every day, rare coins are lost, damaged, or spent without anyone ever knowing their true value. Don't let yours slip away. Take action today. Check your old jars, your pocket change, your forgotten drawers, because somewhere out there, a single 1987 p Roosevelt dime is waiting, and it could be your golden ticket. Imagine holding a tiny coin in your hand, no bigger than a button, that could be worth close to $1 million. Sounds unbelievable, right? But right now, tucked away in old jars, dressers, and forgotten piggy banks across America, there are dimes that could change someone's life forever. And one of the most surprising. The 1989 p mint mark Roosevelt dime. Stay with me, because in the next few minutes, I'm going to reveal why this ordinary-looking coin has stunned collectors, how some are believed to be worth millions, and exactly what you need to do before it's too late. Every second you wait, someone else could discover a fortune that should have been yours. Let's go back to 1989. George H.W. Bush was president, the Berlin Wall was about to fall, and the U.S. Mint in Philadelphia was quietly striking millions of Roosevelt dimes. At first glance, there was nothing unusual about them. Standard design. Standard production. Just another year, right? wrong, because hidden among those millions were a few extraordinary pieces, coins that were minted with such precision, such microscopic rarity, that they would later ignite a frenzy among collectors. But here's what most people don't know: not all 1989p dimes are created equal. You know the old saying, a dime a dozen? Well, not these dimes. These dimes are one in a million, literally. The rarest versions of the 1989p Roosevelt dime have extraordinary characteristics: near-perfect strikes, flawless surfaces, and almost no imperfections under magnification. Some specimens graded at the highest levels by professional grading companies, like PCGS and NGC, have sold for jaw-dropping amounts. One verified example has an estimated current market value of $943,000. And experts believe that others, in perfect condition, could command bids pushing into the millions. So, why are these coins so valuable? First, it's about scarcity. Out of the hundreds of millions produced, finding one in pristine, untouched, almost miraculous condition is like winning the lottery. Second, collector demand. As more people realize the hidden treasures in everyday change, competition to own the best examples has skyrocketed. Third, emotional value. For many, owning a rare Roosevelt dime is not just about money, it's about holding a piece of American history, something few others will ever possess. And there's one more secret most people miss, a secret that could mean the difference between cashing in big, or walking away with nothing. Some rare 1989p dimes have what's called full bands on the reverse side, sharply defined lines across the torch, a mark of exceptional minting quality. Full bands can massively increase the value of your coin. So, how do you know if you're sitting on a small fortune? First, check your 1989 Roosevelt dimes for the P mint mark, located on the front, to the right of Roosevelt's neck. Look closely under good light. If your coin appears flawless, shows no visible scratches, and has those sharp full bands on the back, you might be holding something truly life-changing. Second, get it authenticated. Contact a trusted coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. Without professional certification, it's almost impossible to get top dollar. And third, move quickly. As more coins are discovered and graded, the rarest examples will only become harder to find. The window of opportunity is open, but it won't stay open forever. Imagine what $1 million coin could mean for your life. Paying off your mortgage. Traveling the world. Retiring early. Changing your family's future. That it's not just a dream, for someone out there, it's already reality. So, what are you waiting for? Check your old coin collections. Look through those dusty piggy banks. Search every forgotten drawer. That ordinary dime you find could be the key to extraordinary wealth. A simple dime, something you might find in your couch cushions or a forgotten drawer. But what if that dime, specifically a 1997 D Mint Mark Roosevelt 1 dime, was worth a staggering $939,000, or even millions? I know it sounds unbelievable, but the truth is, rare coins like this one are out there, hiding in plain sight. And today, we're going to uncover the story behind this remarkable coin, why it's so valuable, and how you can cash in on a life-changing treasure you may already own. The Roosevelt dime has been a staple of American currency since 1946. Featuring the profile of President Franklin D. Roosevelt, this coin is familiar to nearly everyone. But here's where it gets interesting: the 1997 D Mint Mark Roosevelt 1 dime isn't just another dime. It's one of the rarest coins on the market today. The 1997 D Mint Mark dime may seem like a regular coin to the untrained eye, but it's not. In fact, it's one of the few coins that has a hidden flaw that makes it incredibly rare. This particular dime features an extremely unique misprint that adds substantial value, but here's what most people don't know: it's not just the misprint itself that makes this dime special. It's the rarity and the stories behind the people who have already found them, and the ones who are still searching. Let's break it down. Of the millions of dimes produced in 1997, only a small fraction were mistakenly minted with an error that makes them highly desirable to collectors. This error is so rare that it's almost impossible to find in circulation. The vast majority of these dimes were either collected by coin enthusiasts or simply melted down over the years. That's why, If you come across one of these in your pocket change, you might just be sitting on a gold mine, but how much could one of these rare 1997 D Mint Mark Roosevelt 1 dimes really be worth? You might be wondering, can it really fetch close to $1 million? Well, I'll get to that in just a moment, but first, let's look at how people are turning these hidden treasures into real wealth. This is where the excitement builds. In the past few years, several of these rare 1997 D Roosevelt dimes have been sold for prices well into the hundreds of thousands of dollars. But here's the kicker, some are now believed to be worth millions. Yes, you heard that right. A single dime. Worth millions. All thanks to a tiny, rare error that most of us would have overlooked. Now, if you're wondering how you can turn this information into real wealth, it starts with knowing where to look. Check your old coin jars, your drawers, and even your spare change. If you come across a 1997 D Mint Mark Roosevelt 1 dime, you'll want to have it evaluated by a professional. These coins aren't your average dimes, they're a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to cash in on a treasure that could set you up for life, but time is of the essence. The market for rare coins like these is growing, and collectors are becoming more savvy. The longer you wait, the more likely it is that someone else will find your treasure first. So don't wait, take action today. Do you have a 1997 D Mint Mark Roosevelt 1 dime? Or perhaps you know someone who does. Start checking your coins right now, and be sure to keep an eye out for this rare gem. If you're not sure what to look for, consider subscribing to this channel for more tips on rare coins and how to spot valuable treasures in your pocket change. What if I told you that a single dime from 2005 could change your life? That a seemingly ordinary coin, worth just 10 cents when it was minted, might now be valued at nearly $1 million. Yes, you heard that right. In the world of rare coins, the 2005 D Mint Mark Roosevelt dime is making waves, and today, we're about to uncover why this small piece of history could be worth a fortune. That you've probably got a jar of old dimes sitting around somewhere, right? Maybe they've been collecting dust for years, forgotten among other coins you've picked up along the way. But here's what most people don't know, buried among those dimes might be a true gem that could be worth more than you could ever imagine. But before we dive into why this 2005 D Mint Mark Roosevelt dime is so valuable, let me ask you, how many times have you wished you had the financial freedom to live the life you've always dreamed of? What if a simple coin could be the key to unlocking that dream? The 2005 D Mint Mark Roosevelt dime has quietly slipped under the radar of many collectors and investors, but that's about to change. Some of these rare coins are currently being sold for jaw-dropping amounts of money, with some experts predicting that they could eventually be worth millions. Let's rewind for a moment. The Roosevelt dime, first introduced in 1946, honors President Franklin D. Roosevelt, who passed away in 1945. Designed by artist John R. Sinek, the coin was meant to symbolize Roosevelt's legacy and his fight for the rights of all Americans. Fast forward to 2005. The U.S. Mint was still churning out dimes, including the standard version minted in Denver with the D mark. To the untrained eye, it may have looked like any other dime, but in reality, a small percentage of these coins, especially those from 2005, are highly sought after by collectors. Here's where things get interesting. The 2005 D Mint Mark Roosevelt dime is part of a series of dimes that were accidentally produced with a rare error in the minting process, making them incredibly scarce. These errors, combined with the unique characteristics of the coin, have sent collectors into a frenzy. But it gets even better. Because this particular error wasn't widely recognized at first, many of these rare dimes were overlooked and left in circulation. Some of them are believed to be worth millions today. So, why is the 2005 D Mint Mark Roosevelt dime worth so much? Let's break it down. First, it's all about rarity. A small number of these coins were struck with a distinctive flaw, known as a die error, that makes them stand out from the rest. This die error led to unusual features, making these dimes far rarer than most coins minted in that year, but it's not just the error that makes this dime valuable. The 2005 D Mint Mark Roosevelt dime is a part of the Roosevelt dime series, which has long been beloved by collectors. Coins from this series are highly prized for their historical significance, their unique design, and their connection to President Roosevelt's legacy. but here's where things get really exciting that in recent years, some of these 2005 D-Mint Mark Roosevelt dimes have been sold for extraordinary sums, some even reaching close to $1 million. And that's not just speculation. These coins are changing hands at auction, with prices escalating as more collectors and investors recognize their true value. It's not just a one-off, either. The market for these rare dimes continues to grow, and more people are cashing in on what was once thought to be a common coin. Now, imagine this: what if you have one of these coins sitting in your collection, right now, unnoticed and undervalued? What would you do if you discovered you were sitting on a small fortune? But here's the kicker: only a few of these rare dimes have been discovered so far. And once they're gone, they're gone. Will you be the one who stumbles across the next $1 million dime? Or will you be left wishing you had checked your coins sooner? So, what does this mean for you? If you've got any 2005 D-Mint Mark Roosevelt dimes, now is the time to act. You could be sitting on a potential goldmine, and there's no telling how much more valuable these coins could become in the years to come. So, what should you do? First, take a moment to dig through your old coin collection. Look for any dimes from 2005 with the D-Mint mark. Check for the telltale signs of the die error and evaluate the condition of the coin. A pristine example could be worth tens of thousands of dollars or more. Don't wait. Time is of the essence. Every day that goes by without checking could be a day you miss the opportunity to cash in on one of the most valuable coins in circulation. So, grab your coins, check them carefully, and get them appraised, and if you haven't subscribed yet, now's the perfect time. Stay up to date on the latest rare coin discoveries and tips for building your own coin collection that could someday make you wealthy. Hit that subscribe button, and turn on notifications so you never miss out on another potentially life-changing coin. But that's exactly what's happening with the 2006 D-Mint Mark Roosevelt 1 dime. What makes this coin so valuable, and how are everyday people cashing in on its rare status? Well, if you're watching this video, it's not too late for you to turn your old coins into a life-changing fortune. Stick around, because by the end, you might be checking your coin collection to see if you have one of these hidden treasures. But here's the twist: this isn't just another rare coin story. This particular dime has left collectors and investors in shock, with some coins being valued at an astounding $930,000. And some even believed to be worth millions. Let's take a closer look at why the 2006 D-Mint Mark Roosevelt 1 dime is so special. To start, the Roosevelt dime has been part of American currency since 1946. It was designed to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt, the 32nd President of the United States. The coin's design features his profile on the obverse and an olive branch, torch, and oak branch on the reverse, symbolizing peace and strength. The 2006 version, with the D-Mint mark, was produced in Denver and was part of the usual minting process. At first glance, it appears just like any other dime. But here's where things get interesting: what makes the 2006 D Roosevelt dime so valuable? Most dimes are only worth their face value, 10 cents. But this particular dime, due to a unique error in its minting process, has an incredibly rare quality that makes it highly sought after by collectors. You see, some of these dimes have a special feature: they were misstruck or improperly produced, leading to an off-center design, double striking, or even errors in the fine details. This kind of flaw is what collectors crave because it's what makes the coin so incredibly rare. Coins with minting errors are a jackpot in the numismatic world. The 2006 D Roosevelt dime is particularly intriguing because of the rarity of these errors. The misproduced coins were never intended to be released in circulation, but some managed to escape the mint's grasp, only to end up in the hands of people just like you. How are people cashing in? What's even more fascinating is the huge sums of money people are making from these rare dimes. Some have sold for hundreds of thousands of dollars at auctions, and a few have even fetched prices in the millions. The reality is, many of these coins are sitting in people's collections, perhaps hidden in their drawers or forgotten in coin jars, waiting for the right person to recognize their value. If you're sitting on a stash of old dimes, you might be holding a goldmine. But here's the kicker: this coin isn't just valuable because it's rare. There's another reason why these dimes are making headlines, and it's something most people don't know about yet. Now, let's talk about the most exciting part: the value.as of today, the estimated market value for a 2006 D Mint Mark Roosevelt 1 dime in pristine condition is approximately $930,000. But that's just the start. The true worth can soar even higher, especially if you have one with unique errors or other distinguishing features. So, if you have a 2006 D Roosevelt dime, it's time to take a closer look. Check for any minting defects, misprints, double strikes, off-centering, or other anomalies. If you find one with these rare features, it could be your ticket to a small fortune. Don't wait until it's too late. Head over to your coin collection, pull out any 2006 D Roosevelt dimes, and inspect them carefully. And if you're unsure, consider getting a professional appraisal to help identify its true value. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of rare coins, make sure to subscribe to our channel for more insights into valuable and overlooked coins. Hit that notification bell so you never miss out on the chance to make your next big discovery. Remember, there's a world of wealth hidden in your pocket change. Don't let it slip away. Thanks for watching, and good luck hunting for your next big find.